Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Ryder Sigety. I'm a 4-time national GNCC champion and a part of the Ampro Factory Support Yamaha off-road team. We are currently at Budds Creek Motocross in Maryland. We're here at the first ever 2-day tour event, and this is just one of my motos starting. Here I'm going to show you. This is the Pro 125 class taking off, which I'll be in that class soon, hopefully. And this is just them going over the BMX step up, and then I'm gonna take off here. This isn't my first moto, but this is just one of my more exciting ones. Here, right in front of me, Lawrence Einberg, and I think he got into a pretty nasty crash in Moto 1, so that's why his jersey's all ripped up. But we do get around him sort of quickly, but then I have a great battle with my friend Landon Wentz. Here you see him right on my butt. And he makes the pass pretty soon on that 250. He was going great. Also, I didn't mention yet, I'm here with my dad, Mike. Guys, say hello.
Hello. So, Ryder, how come you didn't jump that jump off the start that the 125 pros were doing?
Well, first of all, I was scared. But second of all, well, yeah, that was really it. I was scared, but I should have been doing it. And I know a bunch of people that cased it too, so I do jump it later in the video. But right here you see Landon just got around me. I switched from the back cam to the front cam, and since this is Moto 2 of the day, if he beats me, he wins for the day, and if I beat him, I win for the day. So I know I kind of have to win. Off to already not doing too great. You saw I rolled that jump too. I'll show you at the end of this video. I completely over jumped that on my Super Mini, so I was scared to jump it again. But I do end up jumping it again later, and that
was in an earlier race, right? That you jumped it. Yeah,
that was an earlier race. But now Landon's already dropping me, so I gotta catch back up to him, and then we're gonna get a really nice battle going. So make sure you guys watch. We're gonna be taking different lines and stuff right next to each other. It only comes in a minute or two, but it's awesome footage. So with this tour being a double header, it was a lot of racing this weekend. I had two 30-minute motos for each class, and I was racing two classes, so 4 30-minute motos 2 days in a row, so 4 hours of sprint racing. And if you guys have never done a sprint race, it's so much harder than doing a normal hair scramble, or even if you guys do motocross, you know how hard it is. When you're sprinting, going as fast as you can, it's really hard. A lot harder than a longer race, in my opinion. Here, I take a pretty, I don't know, I was proud of that line. I took a line, kind of went around the roots, and now we're right on top of Landon. So we're going to see in a minute, we're going to have a pretty good battle. So this whole weekend, all of my 8 motos, almost every single one of them was a battle straight to the finish. It was so stressful the whole weekend and tiring, knowing I had to push this hard. Landon and I actually did really well in this moto. We got 3rd and 4th overall, battling against the 125 pros. So that was really awesome. That was cool. But you see here, the one thing that's really cool about these tour races, so many different lines. I don't know if you guys have been noticing how many different lines. Like here, just one of them. But we're just spider webbing and crossing each other's paths so much. And sometimes it works out better for me, sometimes it works out better for him. But once we get to the Enduro Cross section, we're going to see some passes soon. So coming into this 2-day event, they had a different track for each day. So one track on Saturday, one track on Sunday. So I had to take the Cannondale e-bike and bike the track, obviously. And, well, not obviously, but I had to bike the track so I get some course knowledge. Also here, look at the line difference. I mean, Landon and I are 20 feet apart, and we're... Landon and I are battling neck and neck, but we're so far apart. It was so cool just to be able to take all these different lines in them. But the track, I felt like, I think a lot of people would agree, just gets better and better as the day goes on at these events. But, sorry, what I was trying to talk about, I tried to take the Cannondale e-bike to ride the track on Friday for my races on Saturday, and it was so muddy I couldn't ride the moto track at all. So then, Saturday morning, I was riding the moto track pretty much blind because I didn't know exactly how the track was going to look because I didn't even get a chance to look at it. Right here, though, Landon takes a little mistake around the outside mulch, and then I was able to, I guess, capitalize on that, and we get him on the inside of this Enduro Cross section. most of my passes, actually almost all of my passes for the lead this weekend were made in the Endurocross section. So you guys are going to see a little bit of this. But in day 2, it's a different Endurocross section. It's backwards. And here's just me switching up to the back cam of the same event you guys saw, but it's back cam now.
So what class do you ride, and what kind of bike do you have to be riding in your class?
Yeah, so I'm racing the B Open class at this race. So that was, I made a little mistake there. You see Landon just caught right back up to me. But at this race I raced B Open, which means you could ride pretty much any bike you want, any size you want, above a 125 I think. So I was on a 125, YZ125X, and Landon was on his 250, but definitely pluses and minuses to both. So it was still really good racing. You see here, now we're on the Budds Creek National Motocross track. It's actually cooler to think about than when we were actually racing it. It was stressful, but it was really cool to be on like the National Motocross track where, you know, all the pros have just raced there too. But here is another one of my motos, and a different start this time. I think in front of me now is Dalton Dunman in first and Alec Hoffman in second. And nobody was jumping the first jump on the motocross track right off the start because there wasn't a good run-up. But in a minute you're going to see, guys, I do start jumping it, so don't worry. Coming up though, I hit my GoPro I get my GoPro stuck under my throttle cable. It pulls the throttle cable, and then I go to reach to make sure the GoPro is still there. I pause the video, guys. I go to make sure that the GoPro is still there, and my throttle sticks, and I almost go straight through the fence. So in a second, you're going to see my hand reaches up for my GoPro, and then the bike takes off. And I wasn't ready for it. I almost ate it. And then you're going to hear now the bike still is revving way high because the throttle's stuck. And mind you guys, it's not a long race, but this is a 30-minute race, and this is first lap. Maybe, 2 minutes into the lap, so this is definitely not a good way to start off the moto, knowing that I'm going to be having to ride the brakes and ride the clutch the entire time just to keep this thing running. But, by the way, this is the day 2 track, which is a different track than I just showed you guys in day 1, so it's definitely not some of the same footage, because this is a completely different track.
So Ryder had like, I don't know, 8 hours of footage, and obviously we're not going to show you all of it, but just mostly some of the battles. But when he says different track, so it was the same motocross track, just some different wood sections, and on day 2 it wasn't the complete track, but on day 1 it was the full moto track. Like basically you got up in the morning and raced as fast as you could on a motocross track that you really couldn't even pedal around, and we didn't have time to even walk it. By the time we got there, it was like get almost dark. We thought we'd be able to pedal it, and we couldn't, so that was not very comfortable feeling.
Yeah, definitely not. But I like this track on day 2, and I think most people would say the same. A lot better than the day 1 track. Not that the day 1 track was bad, but this is just really fast, flowy trail. You see right here, I'm catching up to Dalton Dunman, and just trying to make my way closer to him. He does fall in a little bit, though.
So this series, the Tour Series, is a clone of the J-Day Series, and it's a GP format. If you're one of our subscribers, I'm sorry, you probably heard this before. And by the way, it is that time in the video. If you could please like and subscribe, that would be the biggest way you could support Ryder's channel for all the time and actually money he puts into this and stuff. It would help. But so it's a 2-day format, and it's 2 30-minute motos, which we may have discussed already. But we're actually coming back here in a month for another series we belong to that is going to do a single one race format, and it's going to be a 2-hour race. So it's going to be like a half-hour lap, where these are more like 6-minute laps.
Alright, so right now, I'm kind of like worried about what's going to happen to my bike. Because right now I'm just riding the brakes and the clutch, because the throttle, it's not stuck wide open, but it's definitely not right. It's pretty much stuck. And the guy in front of me, I'm starting to catch back up to him after I took that bad line. And I need to get around him, because I know right behind me is Landon catching up to me. So right here, he ends up making a mistake. and then falling over, but I was able to get around him pretty easily, I guess. No passes need to be made. And some of these valleys, what we didn't show, but some of those valleys were so hard for the mini bike riders. I saw a ton of little kids stuck there. Here's just one of the last motos I'll show you guys. And Dalton Dunman falls in the first corner, and then Brandon Langley, it gets the whole shot next to Alec Kaufman. And coming around the first corner, this is reckless is what I was thinking. I said it too, I don't know if you guys heard it. But I mean, everyone's just all over the place. Everyone's almost falling. And you guys can't tell, but Landon is on my left right now, and I can hear him about to pass me. So I ended up almost passing Brandon Langley here, but then he got in front of me. So I somehow passed him. I think he's on a 450. Somehow passed him on the YZ125 on the outside on an uphill. So I don't know what's happened there, but I don't know if you guys heard. He was cheering me on though. I don't know if he let me go because I don't know. He was cheering me on. I cheered him back on, so that was cool. And then we're pretty much behind the same people now, and got to make my way up to the front.
So back to the last race, the reason Ryder just cut it off and went back to this race is because after that, even though it was a heated battle, like pretty much every race, him and Landon, or him and Dominic in the Super Mini race, almost the entire race, these guys were ahead, wheel to toe, finishing just seconds from each other. But you couldn't really tell in the rest of the video, so rather than just watching Ryder rip around, we just went to the next video. Also, when it came to his throttle cables being stuck, it wasn't the easiest thing to get to and fix in between motos. Like, first of all, we didn't even have a spare throttle cable with us, so we had another bike with a big tank on it and special bolt hardware, and it was like under the gun. You can't really get to the carburetor very easily without taking the seat and a few other things off. So it was a bit of a scramble, but we did get it all done in time. So in the Super Mini race, they go over, in all the races, the racers go over those guardrails, which are kind of flipped. And in the Super Mini race, Ryder was having to battle with his friend Darren Huff, is it? Yeah.
Oh, no, Michael Ruff.
Ruff, sorry. I mix up my Huffs and Ruffs, so I'm old, I'm going to do that. And he was going really good. And he fell off of one of those guardrails. And it didn't look like a bad fall, but it was just the wrong way, just the way it happened, and he ended up breaking his arm. But he's a tough kid, got right up, walked to the side, he knew something was wrong. Next day, and he was walking around with his arm wrapped up, just bummed out that he's going to miss the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely hope he heals up fast. I don't know if you guys just missed it though. It was hard to see, but Landon, the person that I battled with in the video I showed you guys earlier, he just made the pass into second, and now he is right on my butt. So I pretty much ride the rest of the moto with him this close. He gets like 3 seconds farther, and then he just holds that distance. But he was definitely really close the whole time, so that was nerve-wracking just having him, knowing he was there. I could hear that 250 just barking behind me, but we were going so fast, at least it felt like it. I was having a great time.
So some people say that having a 125 at Budds Creek is a bit of a disadvantage because of the big hills or not. I mean, you looked like you were going good. You didn't look like you were losing much time on the straightaways or the hills, but you definitely looked like you were losing some time on some of the big tabletops. Like I think it's 90 foot. I just saw another video where a guy goes around the tape measure and measures it. And so there's a couple big two tabletops, I should say. Is that Henry's? No, that's not Henry's Hill. This is Henry's Hill right here, right? So I don't know if you know the story of Henry's Hill, but he landed down here and broke his back, Doug Henry, many years ago, and then renamed it Henry Hill. And then he actually came back to race again after breaking his back and did phenomenal and actually won, I believe, 2 national championships after that. So here comes the BMX jump. Is this when you hit it?
Yeah, this is one of the laps. Pretty much, I was just hitting that as fast as my YZ125 would go. I feel like those are the easiest jumps for me in some respect. It's just that step up, it was as fast as I could go. So I didn't have to worry about over jumping it or under jumping it. I knew that the right speed for me to hit that jump was the fastest I could go. So like most people always say, oh, I hit that jump in 4th gear, 3/4 throttle. But I'm not very good at that, I always forget. So that was perfect for me, that jump. It was just as fast. If I could go faster in third, then I would do it in third. If I could go faster in fifth, I could do it in fifth. But it was awesome.
So in the Super Mini race, there was one kid, your biggest competitor, Dom. He was doing 2 really big tabletops that like most of the pros weren't even doing, and that was super impressive. But then you ended up doing BMX on your Super Mini, and I believe you were the only one that was able to do that jump that you just saw on a Super Mini, so that was pretty impressive too.
Yeah, oh yeah, so just there, I kind of paused it. As I was coming out of the extreme section, you see, I looked to the left, and that's how close Landon was to me. I mean, he was that close the whole race, and I was just looking over and seeing him coming over the mulch pile right as I turned around after it. But yeah, Dom tried to do the step up, the BMX step up, and he cased it real bad, so understandably he didn't want to hit it again after that. And I think I was the only one hitting it, but it really wasn't that bad. It was just as fast as I could go on the 112 also, or the 105 also. But I have a little bit of GoPro here of it. I just thought this was good GoPro footage, not because there was anyone in it, just because I was going so fast trying to run away from Landon. At least it felt like it to me. It felt like I hadn't gone this fast in a while.
You know what? Some people say they just want to hear the 125 bark, but don't go away. We're just going to let it play for about a minute. But after that, we do have a few things to go over. That's a little bit of him just letting that 125 sing, which is kind of cool. When I'm at the track, I can hear Ryder coming over any other bike, any other 125. Matter of fact, other people tell me they can hear Ryder coming even when you can't even see him. I mean, people have better hearing than me. They're telling me before I hear him. So what was the temperature like on I don't know if this is probably day 2 here. It was. What was it? It was definitely cooler on day 2, but what was the temperature like on day 1?
It was definitely really hot on day 1. Could have been hotter, but at least it felt like it. But we have like a little time, I guess a clock, sorry. We have a clock outside on one of our tables that tells us the temperature, and I'll show you a video now. It said it's 104 degrees if you look in the bottom left of this clock. But here, I think this might even be the last lap. We're just trying my best to run away from Landon right now. Oh, no, it's not last lap. So we're not trying to brag, but I do want to talk a little bit about results for this weekend. So probably one of the best weekends I've had, even though a lot of really close battles. I ended up winning all my classes this weekend, and I got the B overall on Saturday and Sunday, and the youth overall on Saturday and Sunday. So it was definitely a lot of trophies. I think there was 8 trophies for me, and then my dad also did really good also. He won a senior both days, so that was 10 total trophies. Definitely a great weekend for the Sigities. But we are coming close to an end to the video here. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Please do whatever you can. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you liked it. I think we're going to go to more tours soon. Happy to see you guys there, and see you anywhere. But coming to the finish line. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.